everybody. This is Wife Coach Era. I am here for another Tribe Tuesday. I'm so excited to just give you some more value to help you on your journey to having a wholesome, successful, sustainable, godly marriage. And so I'm really excited about this topic. I'm just going to jump in. I'm not going to take that long. I'm going to get straight to the point and let's get in it because this is a really, really good topic to talk about because it's so important in having a wholesome, godly, healthy, sustainable marriage. So, okay, the topic today is you are the only sex that your husband has, all right? Or you are the only sex that your husband get, period, point blank. And so I want to just jump right into it and talk about it. I have a slide that I want to share. So give me 1 second while I pull it up. Oh, shoot. Hold on. I always get, when it's time to share that screen. All right, so this is going to be good, y'all. All right, and so I just want to just get right into it right here. Here we go. We're going to present this so you can see the screen in its entirety. You are the only sex that your husband gets. And so I really want to talk about this topic because it's so important for, like I said, for having a sustainable marriage, meaning a long marriage, a marriage that lasts longer than a couple of months, a couple of years. And so let me just say that a couple of weeks ago, I talked about calling your husband Lord. And last week, I talked about the 4 C's to a successful marriage. And then today, I'm going to talk about you are the only sex that your husband gets. And sex is a really important topic that I talk about. And then I have conversations and sessions with so many people talking about this particular subject and people not really understanding the importance of this. Sex is so important in a marriage. It's like drinking water for your body. We all know that we need a certain amount of water to survive. And that's how sex should be in your marriage. You have to have the right amount of sex in your marriage in order for it to survive. Your marriage needs sex like your body needs water. Ooh, that's good. I just came up with that off the dome. So, just to let you know, my goal is to help women to have godly, sustainable marriages so they can become pillars in their homes in the community. So, that's the whole point of me doing these videos, actually having the Wife Tribe community. I am a certified life coach, wife coach. My focus is marriage and helping wives have a healthy marriage. So that is my goal. All right. And so let's talk about it. So understand that you are the only sex that your husband gets. Your marriage needs sex like your body needs water. And I just want you to allow this to marinate because I underlined you because you need to understand that I'm talking to you, whoever watching this video, when you think about you, that means your body, yourself, nobody else. And so nobody else is sleeping with your husband but you, all right? And so you are responsible for fulfilling these things for your husband. He's not going out anywhere else and getting these needs met. You need to understand that this is your responsibility. And so once you understand that, you understand the time frame that you have been married. Let's just say you've been married 2 years, that you're the only person that he's having sex with for 2 years, for 5 years, for 10 years, for 15 years, 20 years and plus. I need you to really grasp that you are the only person that is having sex with your husband for this amount of time. Wow. And so this sounds like a very huge job to me. And a lot of people don't look at marriage like it's a job, but that's why they fail because they don't understand that just like you go to work and you have a responsibility there, you have tasks that you need to do and accomplish before you leave today and you go there and you get it done because you're required to do that. It's this, you have to have that same attitude about your marriage. It's a requirement, it's a job, it's tasks that you have to fulfill in order to be successful in this area. Okay. So understand that every touch that your husband gets, right? Every emotion, every piece of affection or intimacy or pleasure, it comes directly from you and nobody else on the planet. Tell me that is not a huge responsibility. He is not getting it from anywhere else, and he's not even giving it to himself. All right. Everything is from you. Like I said, huge job, full-time job. And I just wanted you to grasp hold of this bigger responsibility because I really don't think, women really understand like the how big that is. All right, let's jump right into it. So first, I wanted to talk about how sex fosters intimacy. All right, and so these are some outlines that I did to make you understand about how and why sex is so important inside of a marriage. Okay. So let me go through this real quick. This is probably the most obvious reason why married couples need to have more sex because it fosters intimacy. Okay. It builds it. Sure, you share everything, and that's a good bond in your relationship. And yet, if sex ranks low in how you express your love for each other, something's not right. Having to live together and the certainty of each other's presence can cause your chemistry to fizzle out. Although you're in love, you may have lost the sexual chemistry you had at the beginning of your marriage. All right. So what you need to do is have a little more sex to bring it back. All right. More sex, it fosters intimacy. Okay. We understand that intimacy is something separate, but we also understand that sex can foster that as well. All right. Let's go to the next one. Let's see. All right. And so it's going to foster intimacy with your husband. Okay. So if you guys are missing that spark, you need to have more sex. All right. And so also you need to understand that having more sex with your husband will be a stress buster. Can you believe that? It's going to be a stress buster for you, for him, but also for you. And a lot of times we go different places to try to relieve stress. We might go get massages, we might want to go get nails, hair done, we might want to go for a walk. But understand that you can use sex as a stress buster because it truly is. Okay. So, needless to say, how amazing it can be to come home after a long day and release all the pent up stress and energy with your partner in bed. Experts say that regular sex helps people respond better to stress due to the release of the feel good endorphins in your body. Not only does it help you relax, but it gives you plenty of bonding time with your partner. Now, when I say partner, I'm talking about husband, in bed, and then there's all that good night's sleep that you'll get after that. Although a good workout is not recommended just before sleep, sex is an exception to it. All right, so sex is actually a good thing. It releases those endorphins. It helps you have a deep sleep, and you'll be more rested and revitalized. After sex, if you have sex at night right before you go to sleep, all right? And you'll wake up feeling more fresh, okay? So it is observed that it decreases body temperature and promotes deep sleep. All right. Woo! Man, this is something real. All right. And so also I want to let you know that sex bonds couples together. And so, like I said earlier, if you feel like you're losing a spark within your marriage, if something is not right, sex always have a way of bringing your marriage, your tension or whatever you're going through back together. It's going to open up the door of communication afterwards because you have been able to come together in an intimate way, and then now you're going to be more open to talk about the things that you want to talk about and kind of deal with some of the issues that you might have in your relationship. So let's just talk about this. Sex bonds couples together. The burst of endorphins in the brain after sexual activity is responsible for helping married couples bond during sex. All right. It is not only for penetration and finishing, but the playful exploration that comes before that will give you the most intimate moments with your partner. So both men and women need the passion, romance, chemistry to show each other that they love is alive and doing well. Let me just say this disclaimer. It's so many people that assume that men don't need the things that women need. So you think that, oh man, he don't need any affection, he don't need romance, he don't need any type of the things that we need as women, passion, and that wine and dine, because he's a man. But that's not true. Men want that as well. Men need romance. All right, they need to feel chemistry, coming from their wife too. They need to feel that connection. They need to feel that passion that they probably had at the very beginning of your relationship. So it's really important to understand that sex plays a major role in kind of putting those puzzle pieces back together and creating that bond that you have to have in order to have a sustainable marriage. And I'm talking about this because this is about sustainable, guys. Sustainable. And sustainable, look it up. It's long haul. All right. It's the long haul. You're talking about the long haul. We're not talking about a couple of days, a couple of weeks, a couple of months. This is something that you have to understand, that this is ongoing. You have to have a sexual relationship with your spouse even after 5 years, even after 10 years, even after 15 years, in order to keep that marriage healthy. All right. Like I said, marriage needs sex like your body needs water. All right. So let's go on to the next slide. And so a lot of people don't understand that sex is going to solve a lot of problems in your relationship. Like I said before, a lot of people don't believe it, but just allowing it to take place, all right? It's going to fizzle a lot of the disagreements that you guys are having, all right? Conflicts due to differences or of opinions become a commonplace for couples to tend to drift apart. When you get into friction and you are going back and forth, it's going to draw you more apart. He's not going to want to come home. You might not want to come home. If you let that continue over a period of time, it's just going to be like, listen, it's going to drift you both away. You don't even want to be bothered. And that can be a red flag, a sign that you guys can be going toward the wrong direction. To the D word that we don't like to talk about. All right. So sex then becomes an important activity to make truce. I love that. Sex is truce. Truce. If right now, if you're going through something with your spouse, have sex and make it a truce. It's over. Stop holding on to it. Stop reliving it. Forgive it. Let it go. Call truce and use sex as truce. All right. And then sexual intimacy helps couples work through their disagreements more lovingly as they look beyond their differences to find common ground that works for both instead of engaging in a power struggle. See, let me tell you something. When you call truce, you're showing your husband that you're able to let things go, that you're able to forgive, and that you're willing to do what it takes to make sure that you have a sustainable marriage. He's going to be like, okay, my wife, she's willing to let things go. She's not going to go in a power struggle and be like, oh, you have to forgive first. You have to say this first. No, be the bigger person. Call truce. Have sex with your spouse. Apologize. Bring things back together. A lot of times we wait on men to be able to do those things, but we have to be the bigger person as well. And if we see things going too far, we need to reel that on in. That's not always his job to do. Sometimes we have to reel it on in, take off them clothes and get to work. All right. And so instead of engaging of that power struggle, let it go. All right. And it also is going to rekindle a lost romance and reminds them of the trust that they could share with you at one time. And that's what I was talking about. Like once he see that you're going to be able to let that go and you call truth through sex, it's going to remind him how he can trust you. Oh man, this stuff is so deep, y'all. It's just so deep. A lot of people don't really understand the importance of it. A lot of people are caught up in their ways. They want to have it their way or the highway, and that's how you get to divorce, because nobody wants to call truth. And I'm letting you know that sex is going to be the thing that helps you in having that sustainability in your marriage. Also, sex is going to build a deeper level of communication, y'all. And so last week I had talked about the four C's of a successful marriage, and the first C was communication. But guess what? Sex builds a deeper communication. So if you want to even go deeper, than what we talked about last week, open them legs up. All right. Do what you got to do. So, sexually satisfied couples will tell you that sex isn't confined only to the bedroom. The roots of it extend well beyond into our everyday lives. Communication outside of the bedroom is the key. Without it, your physical connection in the bed would be weak. So, great sex starts in the mind, which includes honest communication with your partner at all times, building up to it is what makes sex so much more enjoyable, especially for women. It helps them feel deep connection with their man and truly love the intercourse. All right. So open yourself up to be able to acquire this deeper level of communication. And God honored this, ladies. And so I'm a wife coach. All right. And so you might be wondering why I'm always talking about what the woman should be doing, because that's what I do. That's what I do. I'm a wife coach. And I'm not going to really be talking about the side of the man, because that's not what I talk about. That's not what my call is. My call is to help the women make sure they understand what they need to be doing to their part in having that successful, sustainable marriage. It does take two people. However, my focus is making sure the woman, you, who's watching this video, is doing your part, in making sure that you have a successful marriage. All right. And so I just wanted to jump in and just tell you a couple of scriptures that let you know that God really honors marriage. And if you don't think that it's true, we have some scriptures here. All right. And so Ephesians 5 and 24 say, now as the church submit to Christ, so also wives should submit in everything to their husbands. Repeat it again. Now as the church submits to Christ, so also wives should submit in everything to their husband. So also wives should submit in everything to their husbands. Boom, sex. All right. We already understand that we're not to deny our husbands of anything of sex, because it really hurts us in the long run when when we do. And so the scripture is to help us. The scripture is for us to understand that this is what God requires of us. He understands who we are because He created us. And if we follow His way, we will have these sustainable, healthy, godly, wholesome, fulfilled marriages, as He would see fit. All right. And so that's what I have for you today. So I want you to contact me if this is something that you are struggling with, or if you just have any questions about what I've talked about in the last 3 weeks. If you just want to have a one-on-one coaching session, just to talk about some issues that you might be having within your marriage, or you might not even be having some issues. You want to reach some things and you just need help along the way, definitely contact me. You can work with me. Book a discovery call at info@theofficialwifetribe.com. Also, you can go on my website, theofficialwifetribe.com, and submit. You can submit on my page, and I'll be in contact with you. I can't think of the name of the page, but it says book a discovery call under contact us. All right. And so I hope that I have provided some value for you today. So get to work. Understand that your marriage is a job. It's the most important job you will have. A lot of times we think that our children is the most important job, or our job is the most important job, or our role in, these big things that we have acquired in life is the most important job, or our business is the most important job. But God says our job as women of God, our responsibility, our priorities are our husbands, our families. And so this is your first job, and we got to get on it. We got to make sure that we have sustainable marriage. We have to get into the word and understand what God is requiring for us by reading His word. We have to go into prayer if we're struggling in some areas in our marriage. pertaining to sex or any other areas. So I hope this was helpful for you. Please contact me, info@theofficialwifetribe.com or theofficialwifetribe.com under contact us. And I will see you next week. Be blessed. Bye, guys. All right. Hold on. Let me remove that. All right. I'll see you guys.